Good to see all the cars making the grid here. Sometimes with especially a long weekend like this, circumstances come up where drivers may have a mechanical issue and the part just may not be available. Some of these cars are a lot rarer than others, and whether it's a suspension or engine part, there just might not be that part in the area, and that'll bench them for the weekend, unfortunately. But for this group, looks like all of them have made the grid for Sunday.
And it's got to be frustrating to come to the racetrack, come this far. There's some drivers here from Florida, others from the Pacific Northwest, California. You make that tour, that tow all the way out here, and then you have a part break that you can't get. They try and come prepared. It just doesn't always work out that way, that you can't carry everything.
Got a lot of situations where competitors will help each other out, and they may have the part and may borrow the part to another competitor, make sure they make it through the weekend and that. But sometimes circumstances beyond their control come up and put a competitor on the sidelines.
And they are approaching turn 14. Everybody lined up looking good there, 2 by 2.
The very good looking start.
For the majority of the time, the open wheel cars really get set up right. Sedans, sometimes not so much. Starter waves the green flag, and let's see what Hatley does with Posner alongside. They're 3 wide down the front stretch. The 8 is the green of Bob Hatley. 22nd, the red and yellow car or second, the 26 car, red and yellow of Quinn Posner, and it looks like he's dropped back to third as 38, Norm Cowdrey. Dan Cowdrey moves up into that spot. Little juggling of position as things get sorted out in the early stage of this race. There's your leader, the 8 of Hatley, the yellow and blue, number 38 of Dan Cowdrey running second, and problems for 26, Quinn Posner. Looked like he was running slowly. I don't know, maybe he missed a gear?
Actually, the 10 of Dennis Firestone did a half spin there.
Oh,
also.
That was Firestone, okay.
But he's back underway.
And here is your lead trio, the 8 of Hatley, the 38 of Cowdrey, the 26 of Posner.
It might have been the situation where he just got up on a curb or where it got a little loose and he was able to correct it, but lost quite a number of positions in doing so.
Yeah, he was running third at the time behind Quinn Posner at the start, and now is back in mid-pack. Here comes your front group, and it is Hatley and Cowdrey that have somewhat broken away from the 26 of Posner. 88, Jim Edmonds. 37, Tom Kinsman. The 29 of Gray Fowler. The 7 of Ron Hornig. 80, Bob Posner. 62, Duke Waldrop. 68, Stephen Egger. That's your front 10. Three-tenths of a second separating Dan Cowdrey in the number 38 from your leader, the 8 of Bob Hatley. Hatley, another driver that's had a successful weekend here in Indianapolis. He's led his practice sessions, and he's led in the races, and it looks like that's the way it's going to be this time as they come around working lap number 2 of 8. Through turn 8, headed to 9, through 9. And look at how Cowdrey is closed up once again. About 2 car lengths separating the two as they come out onto the front straight. And that's where Hatley has the advantage. He's able to pull out a little bit of a gap. And I always get tricked there. I always think they're going back on the front straight.
You had me going.
Yeah, and they don't. Now they are. Now they are. There they go. Three-tenths of a second gap last time. 4/10 separating first from second. Quinn Posner in the number 26. Crosley another 2.2 seconds off the lead. But about 2.6 seconds free of fourth place, the 88 of Jim Edmonds. Close race for seventh. Ron Hornig in the number 7 has it. And coming up to try and take it away from him, the 62 of Duke Waldrop, as Waldrop is just a tenth of a second back. Meanwhile, your leader, the green Swift of Bob Hatley, extends his lead as he gains a little bit of time over second place Dan Cowdery on the backstretch.
Spirited duel for a lead.
It sure is. And he's picked up, Cowdery's picked up a tenth of a second. That gap now down to 3/10. Be interesting to see how this goes. I know they went at it yesterday like this, and I don't believe Cowdery had very good luck at the finish of this race as Quinn Posner finished second by 2/10 of a second, I believe, over Cowdery at the finish line, but that situation reversed and now. Duke Waldrop, meanwhile, has made it up into sixth place. Waldrop in the number 62, so he's continually gaining ground. Now he's set his sights on the 37 of Tom Kinsman. Kinsman about a half a second ahead of him.
And Kim Madrid is up to 9th.
Yeah, she started way at the back.
She might have the record for number of car passes for the weekend.
Hatley now with a little more breathing room in the number 8 Swift. Cowdery, though, not giving up. Dan Cowdery in the Titan Mark 6. And it looks like Madrid picked up another spot going into turn 12, getting underneath the 68 of Stephen Egger. That should put her up into 8th place, I believe, which would be a 3-place jump from the last lap. Headed to the start-finish line. And yes, Kim Madrid, car number 291, the pink Crosley, black and pink. They're 3 wide now coming down towards the turn 1 and jumping the curb there. That was the number 29 of Gray Fowler. And it looks like Madrid lost that spot to Egger. He took it back as they came down the front stretch. Madrid now pulling up alongside, has to slot in behind. So Dennis Firestone up into 6th after that lazy spin there at the beginning of the race. He's got the 62 of Duke Waldrop behind him, 0.2 of a second back. Then it's the 291 of Madrid, although I believe Egger has gotten around her. Yeah, there's the 68 in front of her. And also Gray Fowler has gotten back around, so Kim Madrid has some work to do again. Coming into turn 12, the 29 of Gray Fowler, the 68 of Stephen Egger, 291 Kim Madrid. Your leader through turn 1 already and headed through 2 now. The bright green Swift of Bob Hatley, the Swift DB3. .37 Tom Kinsman, the 10 of Dennis Firestone, 62 Duke Waldrop, and also the 88 of Jim Edmonds making a move there as they head out of turn 6, headed towards 7. 88 of Edmonds in 4th, Kinsman 5th, Firestone in 6th. And 62, Duke Waldrop is really coming on here as he's coming up to challenge both Dennis Firestone in the number 10, Crosley, and the Swift of Tom Kinsman. Waldrop starting in 11th. He's now up to 7th.
Waldrop 2 laps ago made a brilliant move to pass both of them, but unfortunately he got in a bad position and was passed a lap later by both Firestone.
Focusing on this race for 4th place between the 88 of Jim Edmonds, the 37 of Tom Kinsman, or excuse me, the race for 5th place with Kinsman, Firestone, and Waldrop. Tom Kinsman in the number 37 yellow Swift, Dennis Firestone in the red and yellow and orange number 10 Crosley, and the 62 of Duke Waldrop in the red Van Diemen. And Firestone has gotten around the 37 of Kinsman. Now Waldrop making his bid as they come down to go into turn 7, and I think he's going to go for 2. Nope, he's going to have to settle for 1. Waldrop getting underneath the 37 of Kinsman, making Kinsman work for it the hard way around the outside as they go through turns 7, 8, and 9. Firestone starting to pull away. The same goes for Waldrop. Kinsman loses 2 spots. Kim Madrid making her bid. Not in the right spot to get around the 68 of Stephen Egger. '29 Gray Fowler just ahead in that group. 1 lap to go. Your leader, Bob Hatley, enjoying nearly a 5-second lead over second place Dan Cowdery in the 38. The 26 of Quinn Posner is about 9 seconds off the lead in third. Fourth, the 88 of Jim Edmonds. He's 14 seconds out of the lead. So the closest race is this battle for 5th. We pick up the leader, number 8, Bob Hatley, on his final lap around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is our final race before the lunch break. We're going to take some time to dine here at the racetrack. Jaguar Hot Laps will be happening. They've also got the Indy Legends Oval session coming up with those front-engine Indy cars. So there'll be some track conversion going on. Also, at the end of that session, we'll get set for our first race of the afternoon, 1:30 for groups 9 and 11. And at approximately 1:20, the national anthem and racer's prayer. Firestone and Waldrop still going at it as they come out of turn 4 and head to the stripe. And it is the 10 of Dennis Firestone finishing in 5th, the 62 of Duke Waldrop in 6th, 7th, the 37 of Tom Kinsman. Kim Madrid picks up a spot. She finishes in 8th in the number 291 Crosley. 9th goes to the 29 of Gray Fowler. And 10th, the number 68, or excuse me, 10th, the number 7 of Ron Hornig, as Hornig got around the 68 of Stephen Ager on that last lap. Cool down lap for your winner, the number 8 of Bob Hatley.